This program is brought to you by Simulus Clothing, official title sponsors of Formula Virtual Racing. But wait, there's more. Check out the official Formula Virtual Racing merchandise line out now exclusively to Simulus Clothing. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the program. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome along to Formula Virtual Racing. We are here this evening on what could potentially be a title-deciding evening. We have the British Grand Prix here from where it all started back in Season 1. It's the longest-serving track on the Formula Virtual Racing calendar, and it is usually one hell of a race. Usually, it's me and Brendan who are taking you through the British Grand Prix, but we have someone a little bit different, making not his debut in FVR. He was a driver once before. His brother may have been a little bit successful, so he is trying to lead the Davis commentary race, I suppose you could say. It is Mr. Kyle Davis who's alongside me for this evening. Kyle, how are you keeping?
I am doing well, Evan. I am, of course, back with FVR. This time not on the track, as you said earlier. I'm back in the commentary box. It's been a long time, so I'm excited to do commentary, and I'm even more excited for this championship title race that is going on right now. I've heard that Lewis needs to outscore Luke by 6 points, if I'm correct, and I'm all about it.
Spot on.
I'm just all about it. I can't wait.
Yes, it should be an absolutely fabulous race here in Silverstone. Kyle has commentated many a time around Silverstone. At this bit of the track you're looking at, he once had a horrendous voice crack, so we're going to look to not repeat that here this evening. But, yeah, it's a pleasure to have you alongside us, Kyle, and hopefully this should be a fabulous race. But let's get into the main swing of things then this evening. We just crowned Max Verstappen Formula 1 World Champion. We're looking to crown a champion here this evening, ladies and gentlemen. You can see on your screen now the standings coming into this evening. It is Luke Davies on 132 points, and it's Lewis McWilliam on 84. It's Vesta Gobbardi on 63, with Tyler Pistilli on 64. Gobbardi on 67, apologies, not 63. It's Thomas Main then on 63, but unfortunately it's not looking like we're going to see the Belgian feature any more here in this championship. But as it stands, folks, it is Luke Davies who would be crowned the champion because, well, we haven't started the race yet, but Lewis McWilliam has to outscore Luke. So it's been many a time where we've said Luke has to perform well. It's now probably the first time where Lewis has to perform well. Lewis is the man who has to get at least 6 points over Luke Davies here this evening. Of course, one last time out, what track were we at last week? We were at Spain, we were at the Circuit of Barcelona, Catalonia, where he came from the back to the top of the order. He's looking to repeat something similar. We're here in qualifying. He's currently done a 27-2 heading into the first sector. But Kyle, you've done many a race before. You've done races here in FVR as well. If you were coming into a race where you have to get a good performance, is there any way to prepare for it? What sort of things are you running through in your mind?
Well, honestly, coming from my perspective, it's probably spray and pray. But for Lewis McWilliam, a three-time champion around FVR, it's probably all in a day's work for him. I'm telling you right now, he doesn't feel any pressure. He should feel any pressure, but it's Lewis McWilliam again. I think the most pressure is on Luke, who's yet to win a first championship. I think it's all on him.
Yeah, and it obviously would be a fantastic thing for Luke if he could win his first championship in his own backyard. Obviously, it's technically Lewis's home Grand Prix as well, but there is just that something special, and that special connection between British fans and Luke Davies. Timden Hire goes quickest, 1:26.2. Here comes Lewis McWilliam round the final corner. Surely going to beat it? Oh. Yes, he does. 25.1. Very nice lap from Lewis McWilliam to get us underway. There's an Alfa Romeo crossing the start-finish line now. That's just starting a lap. Then it is the AlphaTauri and Maurice Stumer. Keep an eye on Maurice Stumer here as well, of course. Took his maiden FVR podium here in Silverstone, and that was back last season where the podium was Gobadi, Stumer and Nils Hartel, all three making a feature here this evening. Here's Wangfi Anderson. Wangfi is a qualifying ban. He's obviously not got that memo then, because he's just set a lap and has gone to fourth. So Wangfi will be serving another qualifying suspension next time out in Saudi Arabia. Way to go there, Wangfi. Here comes Rick De Bray coming around the final corner here for Scuderia Ferrari, replacing Tyler Pistilli. Ricky goes to fourth. Good lap there for him. Next is going to be a previous British Grand Prix winner. No, it's not, because Tyler's had a moment and he's coming into the pit lane. So let's take a look at Jaffel Punguruvin, the German, who has only done 2 races this season. So we haven't really got the biggest, I suppose, test of pace, but if we were to judge off the 2 races, quite slow would probably be the way to go. He goes to 7th. That's not a great lap for him. Luke has gone to 2nd, so he has gone up behind Lewis McWilliam. That's good. Luke doesn't necessarily have to beat Lewis, just needs to get close to him.
Indeed he does, and what I'm also noticing right now, almost right off the bat, these 2 guys are leading the pack by quite a bit here. Blazed in the 3rd position, there's behind by almost a full second. That is an incredible lap by both drivers there who are currently in the top.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure it was something similar last season, if I remember correctly. There was certainly one race where Luke and Lewis are just way above anyone. But if it rains, which it can do, we haven't got any reports yet. Vesta Gobadi is certainly one to look at. Jurgensmeyer goes to 6th. Nils Hartel jumps up to 7th. He took his podium here last season. It's not been the best of, I suppose, runs of form for Nils Hartel since then in terms of the championship. He's only got the 1 points finish. That was in the Circuit of the Americas. Actually, I correct myself. I think he scored a point or 2 in Zandvoort as well. But still 18th in the championship. Does have 8 points, mind you, which is not bad for 18th in the championship, considering. As, it's not been the best of results. Yathan, and that's Cam Dolger just having a bit of a communal weave on the run down to Stowe Corner. Cam Dolger packed off his lap, not able to get a run in. Another man returning for this evening. We've won Kyle in the commentary box. We've won Kyle out on circuit. Kyle Albert is here for Mercedes. He's joining alongside Lewis McWilliam. Kyle, who... Yeah, he called me an Olympia Stadium enjoyer earlier, so I'm going to call something Kyle back, and I'm going to call him a little bit of a cult hero here in Formula Virtual Racing. We always love having Kyle on the track, and I think everyone is hoping for a good Kyle Albert result this evening. Adrian Tishy not finding time on his 14-second off the pace lap, unfortunately. He's 1.6 seconds back. That sounded really harsh, but I was not thinking what I was saying. I just said that. That sounded really bad. Yeah. I didn't mean for it to...
You got to revert that one. I believe you were calling him out for almost an F2 driver there. That's a 139. That is, it's a bit off, but I would probably be behind him anyway, so I should shut up, definitely.
Yeah, sorry, Adrian. I didn't mean to sound like that. That's just the way it came out. He's backed off this one as well. Oh, he's found 3 seconds, actually. So he obviously binned it, probably in the final sector, braking for the Vale chicane, and then in towards Club. So this is an actual lap for Adrian Tishy. It's still going to keep it 12th, unfortunately. But yeah, he obviously made a mistake somewhere. Adrian just finding some time. It's not a true representation of his pace. We've seen his pace many a time this season. Here comes Matthew Stotts heading through Beckett's, and that is a complete slide there for the Williams. They did well to hang it on to it. Did the one-time Formula Virtual Racing podium sitter. Got that at the Lusail International Circuit in Qatar. Then heading in towards... Stowe, I always confuse that corner. It's going to be called Cops about 10 times this evening, folks. But look, this is our 10th season. You know what to expect at this point. Then heading into Club Corner now. Where can Matthew Stotts go? Can he jump up onto the front row of the grid? No, he can only go 8th. Timden Hire is always very good around Silverstone. All right, he's a second off pole, but he is still P3, and he's beaten everybody else. And you can only really beat what's in front of you.
I mean, it's just a second, and that second's not going to matter when the Aussies driver enter the grid and have to start the race, because then they're all really close to each other again. Obviously, Lewis currently 2 tenths ahead of Lightning Luke. I don't think he's feeling the pressure right now. I've just looked it up, and he's got the most pole positions in a season. That is 9, and that was last season. So he might be in top shape, and he might just get this pole position. I don't think he's secured the win just yet by securing pole position.
No, exactly. You're spot on there, especially around a British Grand Prix that can usually throw some
definitely.
surprises. Lewis is not only going to keep his championship alive, he's also going to tie the record for most career victories in a Formula Virtual race. He currently stands on 21. His former, I would say rival, but they were more just good friends, Legend Rosenberg, is on 22. We will pick someone. Actually, Luke Davies is going to start a lap. Kyle, do you want to run through it?
Oh man, I'd love to. I mean, I love this track. This track's just incredibly hard to drive on, and I could have never done it myself, but Lightning Luke is here entering one hell of a lap probably. Sector 1 is actually quite an easy one. It's just a right-hander that goes really quickly, this one here. Full throttle as he keeps it on there. Sometimes you have to let off the throttle there, as it's a risky turn. You might get some oversteer, snap your car into the gravel, and end it like Perez almost does every race. Sector 2 is entering now, and that sector is actually, I mean, one of the hardest one in F1 probably. You've got the following corners, they're quite okay, but then you've got Maggots, Beckett's, and Chapel. Those corners, they can send you off anywhere. Again, I wouldn't have done it this way. What the hell, I'm way too slow for that anyway. I'm just following this guy through right now, and he's not used that much ERS actually. Compared to last games, I think it's way less than before. Cops now, the infamous corner where Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen hit each other off, the one where the championship and controversy spiked everywhere. Maggots now, right turn, Beckett's left turn. And then the right turn again, it's Chapel, and this is such a hard combination, but I think he's nailed it, and we're going to see it on the time now. Yes, he is up on his time. He's almost at 10th there. It's not enough for pole position yet, but the lap isn't over either. The final corners are now turning up as he sticks to the right, clips the curb a bit, but not too much, otherwise it sends your car off again. Now entering these final corners, it is all to play for in these corners. 2/10 as Jayton gets a 5 grip penalty for a collision with Ricky. We're gonna have to investigate it later. It's gonna be a 24, 25, 25.2. Not enough, but it is oh so close. And I think this championship battle is definitely not over just yet.
Yeah, great lap that by Luke. Well done, Kyle. You actually did quite well. No, hold on. I think that could be Wong Fei. That's actually Wong Fei done that on purpose,
himself.
I think.
He fixed it.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair enough.
That's good.
That's fair enough.
That's some smart
Rick the
thinking
Bray
there.
crashed out of the session, though, so both Ferraris are now out. I think it was an incident with Yathamp and Guru, and that's unfortunate for Ricky. There goes Cam Dulga to 8th position. Lewis McWilliam wasn't able to find time on his lap, and I think he could be going again here, or is he? Nope, because he's already in the 107s, and he's just heading through Luffield.
Oh.
Tyler Davison went to 3rd, or T-Dog, as he likes to call himself now. Won the Dutch Grand Prix here, of course, this season on his return. Actually, last time out had a non-finish after an incident with Sam Lewis and Lewis McWilliam. Did he go off there, Kyle?
Lap. He stopped and he went off there at Cops. I was following him through. I think he's going to recharge and go for another one, but would you do the same on the old softs?
I'm not too sure, but the thing about Lewis is he always bottles a second lap. I'm not sure if it's something he does on purpose, but he always seems to. Ooh, Avesta go baddie though. Gonna put his name in the hat. That's 3rd spot for Avesta. We know he's good around Silverstone. He says he's not feeling the best. Has a bit of a headache coming into this evening's race. But if I was lining up behind Luke Davies, I'd probably have a bit of a headache as well. That's definitely... Yeah, that's definitely.
And let's not forget the pressure from the guys behind as well. Tyler, Tim, those aren't pancakes either. These guys are doing 25.6. Definitely fast and respectable times there. So, Avesta, take some paracetamol because you're going to have a lot more headaches this race. It's Britain, and it's a hell of a race.
See, Kyle took the technical approach. I was just calling Luke annoying.
Oh, yeah.
There we go.
I'm trying
love
like
you,
not
Luke.
a fan yet. It's only my debut commentary here. I'm gonna offend them in race 2. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, no, I'm good friends with Luke. That's it. Luke. He drives me mad though. Absolutely drives me mad. But look, no, Luke's a great guy, and genuinely, if Luke did wrap up the title, it is something he has been working towards so long. It would be thoroughly deserved. He's been phenomenal this season. The last few races may have been a little bit shaky at times, but he has done very well. We're looking at Matthew Stotts heading in towards Chapel. That's a lot better this time round from the American. Much better. And you can see he's found almost 8/10 of a second in his lap. That was an improvement for Kyle Albert, who decides to join the it's not an all-British third row, because Kyle is on the fourth row. He's in fifth. That is Kyle Albert, who has gone behind Tyler Davison, is what I should have said. Here comes the Williams, though, of Matthew Stotts, heading through the final couple of corners. Let's see what he can do. Where's this going to put him? That's going to put him above Kyle Albert. Splits the two Brits. Fifth position. Not bad at all if your name is Matthew Stotts. Once again, folks, thank you very much for tuning into Formula Virtual Racing. We are going to just remind you of how things look heading into this evening. There it is. And there is the championship. It is Luke Davies, 132 points. Lewis McWilliam, 84. Lewis has to outscore Luke by 6 points at least if he wants to keep this title alive. Remember, we do have a different point system here in Formula Virtual Racing, so he's got a lot of work to do. It's 21 for a win on a fastest lap as opposed to 25. Then it is 16, 14, folks. I have just noticed a few frames have dropped. There we go, we're all back in the green. The regular viewers will know how we solve out the lag on these broadcasts, but Kyle, would you like to know how I sort out the lag?
I would. Tell me about it.
I put a pen under my laptop.
A pen under your laptop?
It has worked every single time.
But what does it do, though? Does it, like, interfere with the magnetic?
I think it just raises it up to give it more airflow. I think that's the solution.
More airflow?
But, like,
would you suggest blowing into your laptop? Would that work?
Yeah, I would, but I also have to speak, so...
that's a good call. A pen under your laptop. I'm gonna do that next time. I can blame it on my pen not being more...
As Jonathan Jurgensmeyer has retired from qualifying while coming out of the pit lane. That's a bit of a weird one for Jurg. He didn't have a qualifying ban, so he didn't need to do that. Good performance so far from Enrique Perez, who was very unlucky not to finish the Spanish Grand Prix last week. He had a bit of a disappointing day that time out in his home circuit, but the Spaniard is doing very well, rocking Carlos Sainz's Italian Grand Prix helmet in a Red Bull, which that doesn't look slightly cursed at all. But heading through Stowe Corner now, he is just starting a lap, so we'll keep an eye on that. But we're in the business end of qualifying here for the British Grand Prix. There's 2 minutes and 10 seconds to go. Pardon me, folks. And Lewis McWilliam is building up to try and take pole position here. He's already the record pole holder. He is the king of qualifying, certainly in Formula Virtual Racing. And some people think that he's just caught up on stats over Legend because he did more races. But he beat Legend in qualifying left, right and centre sometimes. So he's certainly a man for qualifying. Let's see what he can do here. It's the man who's got 32 career pole positions. He's had a few of them here in Silverstone. He's looking to repeat something special, maybe in front of the home faithful. It's a win-win situation, really, if you're a British fan, because you've Lewis, who is from Scotland, and then you've Luke, who's from Southern England. Both technically home drivers here in Silverstone, but Lewis into the loop now. A little bit shaky heading through turn number 3, but was quite good through Abbey and Farm. Then down on towards the Wellington Straight, down towards Brooklands, which is the left-hander, and then Luffield, which is the right-hander through 7. Yeah, he's down on his time. No improvement this time around for Lewis McWilliam, but the end of the lap is sort of where he is quickest. A lot of dirt on his Mercedes for some reason, so he's obviously had a little bit of a trip into the gravel, maybe on the outlap. Exits Brooklands, excellent through there, down towards Cops Corner, past the old paddock building on the right hand side. You've got to fully commit through Cops here. This is going to be the quickest. You're going to take it all evening. Yeah, that's excellent from Lewis McWilliam. Setup working very nicely. And then down towards Maggots. These are exceptionally quick corners. 8th gear, 7th gear, and maybe even down to 6th, maybe down to 5th to get the rotation through here. No, Lewis keeps it in 6th. A man known for his good use of high gears. There's going to be a bit of a slipstream in front of him. That's his Mercedes teammate Kyle Albert looking to assist the Scotsman on his endeavour here for pole position. Down in towards Stowe Corner, right-hander Lewis flying through this section of the lap and down towards the Vale chicane now. He's got 3 more corners to go, but they are some of the more crucial ones here on the Formula 1 calendar. You've got to nail these to get your starting position at Silverstone. Bolts out of club. Here comes McWilliam across the line. 1:24.9 into the 24s. An excellent piece of driving from Lewis McWilliam. He's on provisional pole here in Silverstone. Can anybody possibly be the king of qualifying and dethrone the Scotsman? Gobardi way down on his time. No improvement there. Tyler Davison slightly down in the first sector. Luke, actually, to be fair to him, found a bit of time in the first sector, but this is the crucial part of the lap. We saw Lewis wasn't improving initially. Here's the second sector split. Luke improving, but not good enough, but it still could be crucial to keep himself ahead of maybe even Tyler Davison. We'll keep an eye on his lap. Is he finding time? No, we missed the sector split, unfortunately, on that occasion. Here comes Luke in towards the Vale chicane. Crucial qualifying laps, potentially to wrap up a championship. Rounding the final corners now. Lewis quick out of there. Luke just as good, I would say. Here comes Luke. It's not enough, unfortunately, to steal pole, but luckily for him, Tyler's made a mistake on his lap. Let's see what it would have been anyways. Could he have beaten Luke Davies? No, he backed off it in the end, so it wouldn't have been an improvement regardless for Tyler Davis. And here's Tim Den Hyer for the final corner. Can the Dutchman give a good representation here in Silverstone? Across the start-finish line he goes now. He's going to jump up ahead of Matthew Stotts. A very good run there for Luke, and Stotts into the wall and out. The Williams has shot his car off on the exit of Chapel Curve. The Williams is out of qualifying. Kyle and Yathin both not on laps. No, Yathin actually is, but unfortunately it's not tracking good enough for pole position. So Lewis McWilliam is going to take a 33rd career pole position here in his own backyard.
What a lap by Lewis McWilliam there. 2/10 off his championship rival there. I mean, props to him. That was an amazing lap. I could see Vesta had a little bit of a moment there going out of Beckett's, I believe it was, ruining his lap, but he was up on his time as well. It would have been a really close battle between the two drivers. Lightning Luke, of course, Luke Davies there, not that far off either. This has been a great qualification, and it only suggests that there's more great to come in this race.
It should be a fabulous race. I've just got the weather report from Lewis. It's all dry for the Grand Prix. No British weather going to affect us here this evening in Silverstone. We will wait for the full race results to come up, but it's Lewis McWilliam who we're waiting for, actually, who is on pole position for the British Grand Prix. But genuinely, very good result that from Luke. We're going to have two title rivals side by side, hopefully, on the opening lap here in Silverstone. That's been interesting on previous occasions. We'll see how it is now. Lewis McWilliam takes pole for the British Grand Prix ahead of Luke Davies of Escobadi, Tyler Davis and Tim Den Hyer, Matthew Stotts. Then it is Kyle Albert, Yathin Penguru, who has a 5-place grid drop, Nils Hartl, Morris Stumer, Con Dulger, Enrique Perez, Rick Debray, Jonathan Jurgens, Mayer Borbune, and it is Adrian Tishy and Wong V. Anderson. Folks, we will be back for the FVR British Grand Prix after this commercial break. This program is brought to you by Simulus Clothing, official title sponsors of Formula Virtual Racing. But wait, there's more. Check out the official Formula Virtual Racing merchandise line out now exclusively to Simulus Clothing. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the program. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Silverstone, home of Formula 1, home of the British Grand Prix. It is, of course, a 5.891 kilometre circuit, 3.661 miles with 18 corners, and a lap record that I always find very ironic belongs to Max Verstappen. It is, of course, shared between Northamptonshire and Buckinghamshire and should be a fabulous Grand Prix. You've had a look at the track map. Let's go back to the racing action. It's formation lap time here, and quite funnily enough, it's a split strategy between the top two. Lewis goes for the mediums, Luke on the hard tires. Kyle, what's your thoughts on that one?
Oh, it's a definite hard one here. I think Lewis is opting, of course, for the faster getaway, as to Luke, who is opting to preserve his tires there. I think it's tricky all around. It's a coin toss, basically, here on where the safety cars come when. And even if they come, I mean, usually around this track where there's so many chaotic corners and so many options to crash into each other, I think it's definitely going to be one of a hell of a race now, surely with the different strategy. I mean, if you look at the cars behind as well, it's all mixed up. There's even one guy in the softs.
Yes, it is. Let's run you through them, actually. They're on your screen, so let's run you through them. Lewis McWilliam on the mediums. Luke hards, Gobadi mediums, Davison hards, then it is Denhire mediums, Stotts hards, Albert hards, then it's Nils Hartl hards, Stumer on the softs, so he's looking for a quick getaway. Then Condolger on the mediums, that's funnily enough McLaren split strategy. Enrique Perez hards, then Debray mediums. Then, excuse me folks, sorry, it's Panguru down to Tishy on the hards, and then Wong Fee Anderson going for the mediums. Oh, there they come on your screen, folks. It's looking like it'll be a lap 14 to 19 pit stop off the hard tyres, and it's saying mediums is a 4-stop or something, I don't know. Don't trust the game for that. It's never really correct.
That's something I would do in the race, to be honest. A 4-stop, that...
Yeah, probably for wing changes, Kyle. We'd both be the same.
Yeah, that's why we're in the commentary box, though, watching Wong Fee.
Well, I also own the league, that's partially why I'm here too. But
that could indeed be the case. Wong Fee here, he's dropping a bit behind. I think he's doing a smart strategy here by letting them cool off their tires. Don't know what he's gonna do though, since he's literally lost, but it's a tactics already in the play here. It's a mental game all the way.
it is a mental game all the way. Well said, Kyle. It is, of course, reminding you of the championship. Luke Davies, 132 points. Lewis McWilliam, 84. Lewis has to outscore Luke by 6 points. We will keep an eye on that. I really hope Brendan's watching because he's a lot better at maths than I am. But we will wait and see how it plays out. Hopefully it's a simple calculation, such as if Lewis wins and Luke is second, then he doesn't outscore him by 6 points. Simple as that. They're lining up on the grid for the British Grand Prix, ladies and gentlemen. There is an air of tension heading onto the grid. It's not your usual British Grand Prix. It's the day where a British, or an English champion, I should say, could be crowned for the first ever time. 2, 3, 4, 5. Red lights. And it's a long hold. But we go racing here in the United Kingdom. Brilliant launch by Luke Davies. He's gone over to cover Vestago Badi instantly. Line astern for the top two into the first corner. Bit of contact for Denhire and Tyler Davison heading for the first curves. Braking for the first corner, the third corner I should say. First braking zone. Davies has a look down the inside. Gobadi trying to get the sweep up the McLaren here through the loop. Remember, he's on that medium tyre. Luke is on the hards. He's got a lot of work to do. Rick Debray spinning down to the back of the pack. Unfortunately, himself and Enrique Perez have both lost 5 spots. Davies looking to challenge in towards Luffield for the first time, but unfortunately not able to get it stopped. Tyler Davison as well under some severe pressure from Matthew Stotts. Morris Stumer not able to capitalise on the soft tyres, but he's looking to get in front of the Mercedes of Kyle Albert potentially. Down in towards Cop's corner for the first time. We saw Wong Fee Anderson make a brilliant move through here the first time round on Yathan Panguru last season. Nothing to be repeated in that regard on this time. It's actually Panguru's one of your biggest gainers in the opening lap. It's the man. Other than that, we were speaking about Wong Fee Anderson, who's up 5 spots, but they're all good at the top. Lewis McWilliam still leads this British Grand Prix. There's a bit of a snap there for Wong Fee Anderson, actually, and it looks like Jonathan Jurgensmeyer is looking to capitalise on this one. The LP on the inside of the Ferrari, gonna go for the double whammy here in towards Stowe corner. Dulger closes the gap, and that's great defending from the McLaren. He stays in 11th position for the time being. Yathan actually into the pit lane. He's obviously picked up some damage. Here's Hartl and Albert. AlphaTauri on the outside, Stumer on the inside as well. The two German AlphaTauri drivers tripping over each other a little bit, but at the front of this race it's still Lewis in control.
Kyle all the way there through, fighting those two AlphaTauris very harshly. They actually had a collision in turn 1 there. And as for the start of Wong Fee, what an amazing start. He is up 5 positions on the opening lap there, even having a minor collision, but still surviving. And as said before, Lewis has got that great getaway on the medium tires, but he is being chased very harshly. He's seeing that big, giant orange blob there get bigger and bigger in his mirrors as now Lightning Luke is attacking all the way through. It's a race that's still all to play for, as we talked before, and it is all going down here in these first opening laps.
Yeah, gotta say, Luke doing an excellent job on that hard tyre, and remember, he's gonna be on the better medium. If he has better pace at this stage of the race, he could well have better pace come the end of this hard tyre stint, and then going on to the medium stint, but Luke and Avesta, probably quicker than probably quicker than Lewis, I should say, in Lewis's opinion, around this track. I don't think so. I think Luke and Lewis are always very mysterious about how quick they actually are coming into a race weekend, and that's probably why they're two of the best drivers in this league. Avesta is usually fairly out straight on whether he thinks he's good around here or whether he's not, but Silverstone is always just a little bit of a schooling from Avesta on some drivers. He's in third, tracking well so far in this Grand Prix. Further down the field, Jurgensmeyer is still attacking the Ferraris. He's currently I should say, in a Ferrari sandwich. Yeah, I messed that up so many times. But he's in the middle of two Ferraris basically, and the Alpine is looking to try and get the job done. What I was going to say is the Ferrari are the bread in an Alpine sandwich. I used to say it was a Ferrari sandwich. Then Tyler Davison told me, he goes, you don't name the sandwich after the bread, otherwise everything will be a bread sandwich. And now I don't usually make these adages. So yeah, that was a bit of a pointless dialogue.
Made the same mistake though. That I would have said that's a Ferrari sandwich for all it was worth to. Just
yeah,
letting you guys
I did
know,
for
there
about
is
6 seasons.
Massive gap forming between Tim and Spinowin, and that is going to break the DRS train quite early on in this race. Tim needs to catch up.
Yeah,
that's the massive thing he needs to do right now. It's a massive task because Spinowin has found some form here that is surprising everyone.
The thing about Matthew Stotts is he's very quick. It's just consistency he lacks, and he seems to have found it in the opening 3 laps here. But I also got to say, we're on to the 3rd lap here. DRS is coming soon. Or is it coming now? Yeah, Luke has the wing open. Lewis has not gone anywhere, and he's on the better tyres. Luke is parked behind him, now has DRS assistance. It would be something else if Luke could not only take his first ever British Grand Prix victory, but also the World Championship correlated beside it. That would be truly something else. It might become a little bit of a historic moment, maybe in Formula Virtual Racing. It would become a historic moment, of course. We haven't had a brand new champion since Legend Rosenberg in Season 5. This is Season 10, by the way. Since Season 5, the only 2 people to win championships were Legend and Lewis. And, of course, it wasn't a brand new champion when Lewis, once again, after the Legend domination era, because Lewis won Season 3 in that brilliant showdown in Singapore. It's not looking likely like we will get a showdown in Interlagos this season, but we're certainly going to have some great races, and we still have a constructors battle alive as well. It is between McLaren, Mercedes and Aston Martin, and McLaren, Mercedes and Aston Martin all have a car in the top 4 here, but and also Mercedes and McLaren also have cars inside the points. Aston Martin only have 1 car, so they can't really have another one in the points, can they? But that 4 out of 26, I gotta say I'm liking this. All the top 5 still relatively close. This could break out into a bit of a battle, maybe similar to that we saw in Season 3 between Kai Eltink, Benjamin Bulwark, Tim Wentink, Tyler Davison, Karem Demirtas, Jack Redmond. There's about 5 other names in that as well. I'd love something like that to reoccur.
Oh, definitely. And for now on, it's been a clean race as well. It's been really enjoyable to watch. As Bonfils now on the back of the McLaren of Dodger there. He's getting closer and closer, and that man has gained 6 positions. It's been a mental game for him all the way. Maybe that qualification that was just a showboat.
Maybe.
Oh,
but
big slide there from the Pineapple Boy. What an amazing username that is, by the way. The off-tire driver there sliding off.
Yeah, Nils, gotta say, running well. AlphaTauri running well here. Obviously, they're still last in the championship, and the only reason they're so close to actually getting into 9th is because Tyler won the race in the AlphaTauri. They had Aaron McFall for the start of the season. Now the 2 main drivers are Nils Hartl and Maurice Stumer. Maurice was announced ahead of the last race in Spain. Unfortunately, Spain was a disaster for an awful lot of people. I think he only had 12 finishes or something like that. But the pressure is still on these AlphaTauri drivers to try and not get last in the championship. Here comes Albert looking for it on Tim Den Hyer. We saw Den Hyer's pace sort of fall off, and oh, look at that, bit of lag between the 2. Thought Kyle pulled off the perfect up and under. He's gone round the outside. Tim with a little bit of desync here. I think Tim, he had a little bit of internet issues, wasn't actually looking like he was going to get in this race at some point. He was having some slight problems with connection in his area. I think that's why we're seeing a little bit of lag. So if you do see Tim go inside the Mercedes, don't worry, it is just lag. He's not actually about to punt off Kyle Albert, and you can see a bit of an alien in front. I think Maurice Stumer won't be too happy with that, as it really does throw off the drivers. Let's cut up to the front though here. Gobadi looking for the move on Luke Davies, heading into P2, goes abreast to Gobadi. And that's maybe a little bit of a turn for the books. Maybe the medium starting to come into their own a little bit, because it seems like Avesta the quickest of the top 3 for now.
Could also be Luke preserving though on his tires. I mean, he has the hard strategy. He has the upper hand right now if he manages to stick to these cars ahead. Of course, what this driver doesn't want to do right now is get too greedy and try for that win. Simply, he needs to not get outscored by 6 points again. So what he needs to do is keep that car on the track, keep it close to Lewis McWilliam, and he doesn't really need to pass him. I know, ego boosts all the way through.
Oh, here he goes! Here goes Avesta. He's gone for into the loop. That's a bold move to go for. Didn't get it done. You're not going to pull the wool over Lewis's eyes that easy. But that's optimism from Avesta go bad. He obviously feels that the pace is that good that, you know, he doesn't even need that DRS assistance. You may as well use it, Avesta. It's there for a reason. May as well take advantage of it. But Lewis still leading, heading through Brooklands.
Indeed, and that is also gonna give some sweat to Lewis there, because Lewis also needs to keep his car on the track. DNFing would be a death sentence right now. So Avesta needs to, of course, which he always does, pass someone cleanly, but Lewis needs to watch his mirrors even closer. These guys need to be not greedy at all, but at the same time be very close to each other. It's a tricky situation all around.
Oh, early penalty, very early penalty for Tyler Davison. That could come back to hurt him a little bit here in the race. He won the British Grand Prix because the driver in front of him had a penalty. Do you remember what driver it was that had the penalty in front of him, Kyle?
I don't. Who was it?
It was your brother. It was Sam.
Oh, but, yeah,
who lost the British Grand Prix on penalty.
He won in season 2 and he's never returned.
Yeah, if he had the longest point streak as well in Formula Virtual Racing. It lasted like 3 seasons or something. Still active record, hasn't been beaten. One of the oldest records that hasn't been beaten. But yeah, there was all-out carnage on the safety car restart back in season 4. Sam bolted away but had a 3-second time penalty. I think he was 5/10 off winning that race, as we see a massive slide for Avesta go bad as we are on the not your regular onboard, we're on a different onboard. But we'd love an off-board shot if you'd like to give us one, Codemasters, but really not. But yeah, Tyler won it in that regard. He got a bit of luck with the safety car that day. It was Gift Pachero that brought out the safety car on that day. Another driver who we haven't heard from in ages or seen on the grid is Gift Pachero. But yeah, unfortunately, Tyler has been the first man to pick up the penalty here. Tyler doesn't race as frequent as he usually would, so may struggle in a situation such as this, but he's still a fantastic and crafty racer. Look at this, here's his Candoga. Nils Hartl, there's contact between the two! Into the wall goes the Alpha Tauri! Nils Hartl has brought out the safety car, and the man who took his first and only Formula Virtual Racing career podium here at Silverstone is out of the race. That is gonna hurt McLaren in the constructors as well, because Cam Duggar has no front wing and was involved in that incident. They both clattered into that wall. That would have been a horrible moment for both drivers, a really nasty incident. If that was real life, there would have been serious questions maybe for the welfare of both drivers, but thankfully that's the advantage of sim racing, no one gets hurt. But well, the championship chances might get hurt.
Don't forget the ego.
Yeah, but yeah, that's an interesting one. That's going to be investigated by the stewards. This strategy falls lovely if your name is Morris Stewart, and it also falls nice if you're on the medium tyres, because Luke and Tyler have both stayed out. Lewis and Avesta are into the pit lane to complete their mandatory pit stop.
Interesting call though, by letting Luke to stay out at this point of time. I mean, 8 laps. It's 26 laps of a race. It's going to be interesting all the way. Surely if Lewis comes out first, which he doesn't because Bunnies also decides to stay out. That is Adrian Teich's story. I'm still getting used to the names, Evan. It's
oh, you're okay, don't worry.
He stayed out as well. Interesting call by the 3 drivers to stay out on track.
I've just discovered when I posted the link to view the stream, I accidentally posted a statistics spreadsheet. I just thought that's funny. I was trying to send the stat spreadsheet to Kyle. Instead of tagging the stream, I tagged the spreadsheet. Tyler has just texted me. Don't text and drive, kids. There's only one driver who can
text and drive, and that's me, Tyler. So please just focus on your race. You're in P2.
Kyle texts and drives in endurance races.
Yeah,
he texts and drives in endurance races.
Yeah, I do. I should stop doing that.
To be fair, he has actually given us a bit of information. Tyler got a double warning on the first lap, meaning that penalty can be removed if he doesn't get any more. So that is actually an interesting piece of information. Can has come in and said, "Can, you absolute donkey." So Neil's not very happy with that one there. Now,
and there's also
obviously we have to have another look at it, but I think there may be a penalty coming Neil's way for that one.
Jonathan Jürgenmeier also hit the pit wall twice on entry in that session. He is stupid.
Oh no.
Well, that's what he calls himself. And Adrian Teich's also having problems with the pit lane there. His AI swerved out of the pit lane. Go figure.
Oh, that's a really weird one. As all the drivers are texting and driving.
To be concerned
Okay.
at this point.
Yeah, we definitely
Yeah.
should. Maybe we need
I would
you
rate
know,
in this grid.
a driving test.
Yeah, we should install some cameras, you know, give them fines, maybe earn some money off it as well.
Okay, so sorry, I just called you Tyler. So Kyle is trying to scam the drivers on his
Yeah,
first
definitely.
appearance in the commentary box. Absolutely lovely. But nevertheless, Luke Davies leads his home Grand Prix. As it stands, of course, ladies and gentlemen, you can see on your screen, Luke Davies is the FVR World Champion. But is this a potential strategy blunder from Luke? I don't think he'd any choice because mediums are not going to make the end of the race, but is he on the worst strategy for now? Because Lewis is in fourth. There's not a lot of cars that he has to cut through to get back to where he was.
And P2 and P3 are also on older tires, so Lewis just has a free pass at this point. It might not be a stupid call by Luke, but it definitely is an unlucky strategy he's on right now, simply because of that safety car. What you could hope about, though, is that safety cars bring safety cars. That's generally known. So he could be praying right now for another safety car. That's what I would do. But if it doesn't come, that would mean he basically lost a whole pit stop in time, and that is hard to make up in this race.
Yeah, it is, around Silverstone, because the pit lane is so long.
Yep.
The pit lane is, like, exceptionally long, and it's at lower speed. Pit lanes in other Formula 1 tracks can be 80, 70, 60 kilometers an hour. I think off the top of my head, Silverstone's pit lane is 33 mile an hour.
Yep, it's 60
I'm not too
kph,
sure.
so that should be around the same. Yeah, it's 60, which is even slower when you consider it's to be such a long pit lane. So these guys will have a hard time finding some, well, basically speed and pace there to gain a whole pit stop in time there. And that's 3 drivers who also will be passed by basically everyone behind them. That means even more time lost. So these guys have been struck by the unlucky hammer.
Yeah, they certainly have, and they're going to have to stick with their decision because the safety car is in this lap. It is going to be Luke Davies who will lead us off. The man looking to win his first ever British Grand Prix, to win his first ever Formula Virtual Racing title, but he has a lot of work to do from here. He's going to have to wait till the safety car crosses safety car line 1, but on this game it is simply just the pit lane. And then he can go. Where is he going to go? The only thing here is Tyler is friends with Luke. There will be a communication link between the two of them, and they will probably be working together here, and Tyler may, you know, just back everybody up a little bit. Luke has put foot to the floor, pedal to metal, and we go racing once again here in Silverstone. Tyler has got a good getaway. Tyler always wants to win here, and Lewis McWilliam. Oh, Adrian's gone wide. What's happened to Adrian? Adrian's gone
totally
way
lost his
wide.
braking zone there, and Lewis has already passed him. That is even more trouble for the McLaren driver here, who is getting chased now by Tyler and Lewis. Tyler, of course, being his friend, but I don't think he can do that much in defending-wise, because he's on so much fresher tires right now that it should be a job done before it's even started.
Yeah, we see big scrap of the make pack here. Morris Stumer and Kyle Albert. Morris just needs to sort of bring that AlphaTauri home, try get a handful of points while doing it. But he's Kyle Albert now trying to split the pair of them, and there's a bit of contact between them. They're 3 wide here in towards Brooklands. Albert splits to 2, and Morris Stumer goes round. Great move almost from Kyle Albert, but it just seemed like 3 into 2, or 3 into 1, I should say, does not go. Morris Stumer goes round. Al1 AlphaTauri. Oh, look at this in front. Look at this in front. Tyler Davison on the outside of Cop's corner. Lewis McWilliam on the inside. When you're fighting for a championship and you have the bravery to stick a wheel up the inside into Cop's, that's truly sensational. That's a piece of class from Lewis McWilliam. That's pure bottle. Look at this one. He's looking to go from 4th to 1st in 1 lap, attacking his championship rival. To the outside goes the Scotsman. Davies going to defend and not leave him an inch of room on the inside. Lewis now has to work it the long way around Stowe Corner, which is a long enough corner as it is. He's given racing room. He's going to take every inch he can get. Up the inside goes the Scotsman. Lewis McWilliam leads the British Grand Prix from 4th to 1st. Gobani goes through as well. Davies left bewildered. Davies left wondering what the hell has just hit him. It's a Lewis and a Vesta 1-2 once again in Silverstone.
Spin and Win is also behind him, though. It might just be going sideways for Luke right now. He is, of course, wondering what the hell is happening, but right now he has no time to wonder anything because Spin and Win is on the back of him as well. This has got to absolutely shambles for him right now.
This has gone awful. Luke has to defend him towards Brooklands as here comes Matthew Stotts around the outside. Williams have a car on the podium in Silverstone. What a result it would be for the British team if they could do so. Obviously, McLaren is based in Woking as well, so is classified as a British team, but it was set up by a New Zealander, so I don't really know why they don't try to keep that heritage a little bit more. But here comes Kyle Albert. He's looking up the inside of Davison as well. If Tyler had two Mercedes go up the inside of him through Copse Corner, he might just have worse PTSD through that corner than Max Verstappen, but he doesn't. Albert sticks behind. Probably knows he doesn't have as much, well, he'd have better grip than Lewis, but maybe just playing the safe option as Kyle usually does. Now, quite crucially, this is between Lewis and Avesta. Luke, at this moment, could still win the championship today, but my God, does he have a lot of work, because not only is Luke on the worst tyres in fourth, he also still has to make a pit stop. Lewis and Tyler are falling down the grid respectively. I reckon it's into the pits fairly soon. Go for maybe a set of mediums, hope for another safety car, and try to get something out of this race.
Definitely, that's the only option you have right now, as Lewis is slowly flying away here. 28.959 there, as Lucas just, well, he's not there anymore, and that is simply because such tire difference in the strategy right now has resulted in him losing a full pit stop, and unless there's a safety car, it won't come back, and I fear it's going to be an empty race for him right now.
Here comes Kyle Albert looking to attack Luke Davies. Let's see what he can do, heading down towards Brooklands Corner. No, not able to get anything. Oh, look at this. Here's Jurgen's Mayer up the inside of Timton Higher. Brooklands seems to be a popular overtaking spot. Here is Tim. Oh, huge tank slapper. Massive tank slapper. Oh, hold on a second. Matthew Stotts and Avesta go body. Bit of a swap of position. I think that could have just been lag, actually. I think that's what happened there. Avesta maybe just struggling with his internet a little bit. Look at this. Look at Denhire. All over the back of Rick Debray now. Debray's past Denhire, and it seems like Tim is just really, really struggling in this race.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, he's not the only one though. There is loads of people struggling right now, as I have seen some arguments on the Discord. In the meantime, we're gonna follow Kyle Albert now. Kyle Albert goes for the move on the outside there of Lightning Nuke, and it's all gone. He's even waving his DRS there. No, that's too much, Kyle. From Kyle
that's
to
naughty.
Kyle, yeah, Kyle to Kyle advice. You gotta calm down a bit with the DRS waving there. That is, well, he's waving Lightning Luke's podium away. You could
as Kyle would probably, not Kyle alongside me, Kyle Albert would probably say, he has impeccable aura, and that's incredible.
Impeccable aura. I've heard the worst things. I've heard T-Dog, I've heard impeccable aura. What do you guys have in petto for me? What kind of surprises you got?
Yeah, welcome to Formula Virtual Racing, Kyle. We're not a normal racing league.
Nice.
And if you're enjoying the not-so-normal racing league, make sure to pop a subscription on the stream, like the stream, and yeah, thank you for all who are watching so far. We have insane viewer retention at the moment, so I do hope you're all enjoying this race. Brendan, who's usually alongside me, giving his thoughts in the stream chat, saying, wow, a strategy for Fluke Davies. Yeah, it's not been the greatest of strategy for Luke, and that is a Red Bull off. That's Adrian Tichy, who's gone off in the background. Tyler's lost another space to Wong Fee Anderson. Those 12-lap old hards are just shot. Adrian gets back going. I think he's actually got away damage-free, to be fair, but is way behind and still has to make a pit stop. So Adrian in an even worse boat than Luke and Tyler are. Luke and Tyler are just hanging on here a little bit, but they got to get to the pit stop soon. We are only halfway through the race, but just look at the oversteer for that McLaren through Chapel Curve. He's not enjoying his time here in Silverstone as much as maybe he was in the early phases of this race. Look at Enrique Perez. That Red Bull's like a bullet going down the hangar straight. Look, he's just got past the McLaren of Dulgar, now to the outside of Timden Hire. Oh, Enrique sent it, and there's a bit of a nudge between the two. Great piece of skill from Enrique Perez. There's been many a great rally driver from Spain throughout the years. That's just as good as any of them could produce, maybe. Great bit of saving from Enrique Perez. He's like Thibaut Courtois heading through Stowe Corner. Dulgar gets the job done as well. Tim losing even more spaces. Haas's season is just falling by the wayside.
Well, that was an interesting move there by the Spaniard there, but we have Miss Jayden there making an amazing move down the inside as well.
Yeah, Nathan has he's looked competent today. That's not me completely slacking him off or anything. He's just felt that he was way too slow in the opening phases, but I think he'd like to be happy with this one here today. There goes Kyle Dulgar overtaking Enrique Perez. Remember, Kyle is fighting for points in the Constructors' Championship, and with the way this race is going for McLaren, it's looking like Khan is going to have to be the one to pick up the pieces for a Luke Davies mistake, really. Not in terms of Luke crashing or spinning or anything, just in terms of a strategical mistake. The only saving grace for Luke is I'm not too sure Matthew Stotts or Kyle Albert could get to the end of the race on their tyres. I'm not too sure Jurgens, Meyer, Yathen or Borbune could. Hadrian comes into the pit lane now for a set of mediums. Mediums can go to the end from here, but obviously those guys have already done 6 laps on them, which is... It's a hefty bit of wear around a track like Silverstone, which is such high speed. It has well over 70% of the lap at full throttle, and it has some very fast left and right curves. It is, it's going to be an interesting one.
It's a tire eater, that's for sure. And we have missed something in the meantime. Guess who's on P6? It's Wolfie.
It's Wolfie Anderson. Oh, he's from the back of the grid, actually.
That is a mad
His teammate, Pistilli, did something very similar last week. Came from 17th to 3rd. That was obviously way more impressive than 17th to 6th is. But Wolfie is going well for it. His teammate, or stand-in teammate, I should say, Rick Debray, has just lost a spot to Jonathan Jurgensmeyer. It's been a while since we've seen an Alpine get a good result in FVR. Obviously, Jurgensmeyer was fighting for it at the start of last week as whoa, sorry folks, we've just had a complete graphical... mishap there. Avesta's dropped to 15th. Can confirm he's still in 2nd. It just seems to be a little bit of desync potentially here in the lobby. Hopefully can be resolved. As Timden Har comes into the pit lane for a set of soft tyres, I believe that's only the 2nd green flag pit stop we've seen this race. Or 3rd, actually, 3rd. Yathen came in early in the race.
It was the 3rd
well.
indeed. I was counting them as well, as we can now see that Wolfie is in P5, which is probably wrong, I'm guessing, right now, since...
Yeah, it is. He is in 6th. It's
have,
Avesta who's just dropped to the bottom of the order.
He's going for the real P5 right now. He's chasing Lightning Luke quite fast.
Yeah, he was actually battling with Luke at one point in Spain, I believe, as well. So Wolfie, he is quite quick. And here he goes. He's going to go for it. He's going to get it really easily as well. The Ferrari is up to P5, not P4. Hopefully this just rejigs itself once we cross the timing beam again and the altimeters sort of come back in. They're not altimeters. Or are they altimeters? They could be altimeters. But whatever tracks it as, no, they haven't. So just know that everybody apart from Lewis McWilliam is one position down on where they are. As Enrique speeding in the pit lane. Got 5 seconds.
He's not got the memo that the pit lane is indeed 60 kph. He's.
It was in the race briefing as well. I did tell these guys that it was a lower speed.
And he's.
Hold on a second. Avesta is now actually leading this Grand Prix. He's got ahead of Lewis. I think he's ghosted through him, and. Lewis is getting blue flags for Avesta. He's actually hit Avesta. Avesta gone sideways. So this desync is having an effect. It's just awful that this is happening, really. It's a brilliant game, this one, by Codemasters. As, Avesta now down to 2nd. And hopefully it can rejig itself at some point. It seems like always when we have desync issues, they happen here at Silverstone.
I don't actually think this game has once even surprised me with glitches. This is just... It's a disappointment, but it's not a surprise anymore. In the meantime, though, we are seeing a chat here from Niels Hartel. Whoever crushes out Khan gets €5. That's...
oh, Niels.
Yeah.
We already had one incident in FVRA with paying drivers. We don't want another one here in FVR. I'd rather you didn't do that.
You could pay me,
but,
though, for commentary. I'm down to get the €5 for something else.
I've did 10 seasons of this commentary and haven't earned a cent, Kyle. Wait your turn a little bit.
I should wait out.
Speaking of Kyle, Albert into the pit lane. So those medium tyres are not going to make the end. Luke and Tyler are just holding on for a safety car to bail them out here, aren't they?
Big slide from Ricky there. The Ferrari drivers struggling throughout these last corners. The corners where I flew off more times than I actually completed a lap around this track. The Ferrari driver here, though, is lacking compared to his teammate. His teammate is in P4 after gaining 14 positions. Go figure.
Yeah, it's a really, really poor race maybe from Ricky in terms of a tyre perspective. He's struggled all Grand Prix long with his tyres. But look, he's still in 8th spot. Remember, folks, sorry, the timing tower is completely messed up. He's still in 8th position, and here we go. Borbune and Yathen having a bit of a battle here. The Alfa Romeo now going for the outside on the Haas. And also, just at the front of this race, Matthew Stott is falling by the wayside in terms of those tyres, which means those mediums are not going to make the end of the race, I don't think, because he's really lacking in terms of pace, pardon me.
He is, and we're also looking at a hard-to-soft strategy, actually. So these guys there in P4 and P5, I'm talking about Luke Davis and T-Dog Tyler, they're completely drying out these tires. 16 laps on the hards, that is insane. They're gonna have nothing but rims left at the end of the race, I think. And right now, it's probably the best call too. The best call. Why, you ask? Well, we're waiting for a safety car for these guys to get back into the race, because right now they have virtually no way of getting back into it. Lightning Luke is giving
Luke's
up
folded.
waiting.
Luke has folded. He's into the pit lane for a set of tyres. Now, I presume it's softs.
Yeah.
The thing about Tyler is here, Tyler has had experience of going long in the British Grand Prix, going for the set of softs, safety car comes out and him ending up winning it. So, if it happens once, he's thinking, it could well happen again, and that's what he's going to wait on. But Luke, I think, is taking the sensible option. As there we go, the timing tower's fixed. You love to see it. You love to see it. But Luke has gone for a set of softs, and he's going to go to the end. As it stands, ladies and gentlemen, the championship, as you can see, we have a graphic for this too, will move on to Saudi Arabia, and we will not have a winner here. It says Vesta is 1:02 behind Lewis. Lewis is probably thinking, you know, that's a mighty old gap I've pulled out, but no, it's only a handful of tenths of a second.
With a 1 minute and 2 gap, that would be, yeah, that's usually the gap behind me and the last, second to last.
Kyle isn't even that slow, by the way. He keeps saying, you're not even that slow, Kyle. You're a point scorer in Formula Virtual Racing.
Next race I participate in. Formula Virtual Racing. Hard to soft is the best strategy. That's Niels reporting from the pit lane. He is probably helping out his teammate, I would say. I would hope so.
Maybe, but his teammate's at 16th on mediums.
He should be helping a bit better than that then.
Yeah, his teammate's on a 2-stop,
Yep.
so yeah. Maybe you could spread some insight internally, Niels. But Luke is on a set of softs, as you can see. Borbune has got the job done, or has he got the job done? Yathan going to the outside. Here comes Yathan Panguru looking for this one on Borbune. Apologies, folks. Cody's have given us some awful camera angles here today. Nobody really ever wants to see this camera angle in a battle, but that's the one we're getting. There we go. We're back to something normal. Yathan Panguru now looking on the inside. He's heading down the Sir Lewis Hamilton straight, trying it round through turn number 1. No, couldn't get the job done. Borbune is in 9th spot. Now he's got the job done. Avesta still right on the back of Lewis. It would, I think it would be Avesta's 3rd British Grand Prix win in a row if he could take it. I'll double check that fact, but I do think it could be his 3rd British Grand Prix win in a row, which is mighty impressive at such an unpredictable track.
It would be definitely for sure. The Alfa Romeo driver is now getting past Borbune on the inside now. He's played it safe. He's built up this overtake for a long time now. And he's made it stick there. Playing it safe in the first corner was maybe the best thing, actually. Because you simply get the DRS, save some ERS, and get the job done in the next corner. That is some smart plays by the Alfa Romeo driver there. As we are watching Tyler get closer and closer to Wonfi, he has received that obviously that penalty, which was to be removed according to him. The penalty being there early on in the game, it's not really giving him anything but negatives at the moment. Right now, though, he's quite close to P4.
Yeah, it would be Avesta's 3rd British Grand Prix win. Can confirm that. He won in Season 8 and took 2nd in the championship. Avesta actually won 2 of the last 3 races in Season 8, which is something that has gone very under the radar to me, really. I didn't think he had that strong end of the season. But Avesta's had a really solid season here. He's still in a bit of a championship battle with Lewis for 2nd. Obviously, Avesta is mathematically out of proceedings in terms of the Drivers' Championship win, but, you know, he could still take 2nd. Sergio Perez was technically still in the driver's standings despite fighting for 2nd, so anything can still happen. Speaking of Red Bull, Enrique Perez gets the job done on Adrian. Adrian is still soldiering on those tyres, hoping for a safety car. They're shot. Luke Davies has just got himself an extra point, though. That's the fastest lap for him, as Rick de Bray gets past Jonathan Jurgensmeyer. These mediums falling off as well. At what point, Kyle, does Tyler say, right, enough is enough, I've got to change these tyres? Because as of now, he's currently on course to get disqualified.
He is. I mean, he needs to pit really soon now. I mean, these tyres are absolutely shot. You can see him struggling throughout these corners. But it's Tyler. The T-Dog has done this before. I have seen him race before, and he also does endurance racing. So I think he's got a fair bit of experience with bad tyres, trying to revive them. He might go the long way here and stick it out for another 2 laps. Not sure, though. I would have been pitting 3 laps ago.
I suppose it's do or die, really, but he's not really giving himself a buffer.
No, he isn't. I think, and of course, right now he's pressuring Wonfi into a mistake. Well, at least he's trying to, but it won't work when you're 20 laps, when your tires are 20 laps old. Talking about a record, by the way, I've just noticed that Lewis William is only 1 win behind the also great legend Rosenberg. 22 wins for the Dutchman and 21 for Lewis. That is possibly, today, equal to each other.
Yes, it could be equal, as there's a yellow flag in Sector 2 and 3. It's Adrian. Puncture for Adrian Tishy. That's going to be horrible news for Tyler, who's trying to drag it out for a safety car, as he's going to know, right, my tyres are going to go as well anytime soon. But Tyler does caress his like a masseuse, really. He's very smooth in his tyres and very smooth steering. He obviously has that from plenty of karting experience. But Adrian into the pit lane, he's got it back safely. Great job there, Adrian, on getting it back to the pit lane without any more drama. Avesta is a tenth of a second behind Lewis. This one's certainly not over for the race win. The championship, though, as it stands, of course, would continue on as Lewis is outscoring Luke by way more than 6 points. Luke is catching his old teammate Bob Bunin, which he won the Constructors' standings last season. Here comes Avesta going for the race lead. We're going to have a change in race lead for the first time in a long time. Avesta Gobani now leads the British Grand Prix. Avesta looked quicker on pace. He's got more battery. Is third time the charm for Avesta, and he's going to get 3 in a row here, Kyle.
That would be the case.
Oh, puncture for Tyler Davison. He's got a puncture here in Silverstone. The front left has popped. The front left has popped, very similar to how Lewis Hamilton's did once upon a time. He's got to soldier it back to the pit lane. Look, he said, look how quick he's bringing this car into the pit lane. You got to brake now, Tyler, otherwise you're not going to slow it down. Oh, he has got it in. He has got it in. He broke us so late, but that is mighty impressive to get it in, and then obviously the AI will take her through the pit lane. But yeah, that's race over for Tyler, unless we get a late race safety car. But this has been exceptionally clean.
It has been, and are you sure Tyler hasn't also got some experience in rally driving? I don't know if you saw that slide. That was insane, and he managed to keep it as well.
He's just an all-around really good driver. He's just exceptional, really, and very, very, very talented. If he wasn't so busy being a human, he could well win a Formula Virtual Racing title. He has that in his power. He is a 2-time FVR champion, to be fair, which I know it is technically our figure series, but the class certainly isn't any different. I'm obviously going to say that because I was quite successful there in my time. But,
did you?
He's.
Well, tell us about that one then. Did you win something? Did you win it?
No, I won the Monaco Grand Prix once.
Yeah.
I won a few races here and there. I was leading by 6 seconds in Spa once and spun on the last lap. That was funny.
Oh, so you won a lot there.
Very
Clear now. Well, you wouldn't have won anything more than me. I would possibly. I've always seemed to fumble around here because the pressure in FVR is quite great. You know, you've got a lot of great drivers. As Jonathan is on the back of Ricky right now, we should probably be watching that.
Jonathan is on the back of Ricky. We should probably be watching that as right, Kyle, instead of waffling on about Formula Virtual Racing Academy. Oh, we do miss FVRA. Lewis has actually brought back what I would say what we acclaimed, but we partnered with another league to make FVRA, EMRL. It is known as El Matador Racing League, races on Sundays, and I'm only saying this because I was dared to say the full name on stream, so I will do that after the stream. We'll do it. We're not going to do it during the race, so make sure to tune in for that one, because we still have plenty of action here come the end of the Grand Prix. And we're not going to have any post-race interviews after this one, folks, because Ireland may be playing a very important rugby match that everyone wants to go watch.
Ireland playing an important rugby match. You haven't changed, have you, in all this time? Still supporting the Irish rugby team.
Yeah, I'm still from Ireland,
yeah, that's fair,
funnily enough. Hasn't changed. Has not changed.
And talking about rugby, no one cares. Lewis, though, he's quite far. Oh, God, he's actually passing him already. It's back for the lead again.
Lewis McWilliam in the race lead. The entire sport of rugby's just been violated here on FVR. We're racing in the country that created the fine sport of rugby union and rugby league, and Avesta had a massive slide heading through Stowe. But could Avesta maybe be waiting? And I don't think he's going to be complaining too much about swapping behind Lewis, because he's going to have slipstream. But do keep an eye. Matthew Stotts is still with a DRS of Avesta, but his tyres are certainly falling off. Luke is in 10th spot, but Luke is, of course, earning 2 points. Lewis is earning 20, so the championship will still continue on. And Kyle, I just got to ask, is Luke's confidence going to be a little bit shot here? Because Lewis is back. He's going to win 2 races on the bounce here.
Definitely.
And it is Lewis McWilliam. He can claw back deficits, and he can win titles when it looks like he's no chance. He beat Legend Rosenberg in the prime of Legend Rosenberg's FVR career.
I mean, Luke, he's definitely going to feel the pressure, and he's already felt it today. I'm sure of that. Compared to Lewis, who has already won 3 titles there, he wouldn't feel that pressure as much, simply because, you know, you're back in the race, you're expecting of course, it wouldn't surprise anyone if you'd lose, so there's not really that much pressure as there is to Luke, who needs to get his first title in. I think right now, with this obvious, well, clear win by Lewis, if it stays like this, that Luke's confidence will get absolutely shot. Yeah, definitely. Because Lewis, he's already got the experience. He's got 3 titles, and he's on for a 4th one if he keeps it up like this, and Luke.
Well, still. Lewis could still win the remainder of these races, including this one, and still not win the title. That's one thing. But if Luke can only scrape 2 points when it's been sort of hyped up to be the day he was going to win the title in his own backyard, if he can only pick up 2 points, well, there could be questions asked, but we still have 2 laps to go. Anything can happen in Formula 1, and it usually does, and if it'll happen in Formula 1, you best believe it's going to happen here in a league race. Avesta Gobadi, 0.3 of a second behind Lewis McWilliam, heading through the loop. Avesta's not going to go for the move on this lap. He's going to wait behind. Well, I would think. Kyle, what would you do if you were in Avesta's situation?
I would have passed him already, but that was me. I'm way faster than all these guys on the
grid. Too quick, weren't you?
I would have been a champion by a long shot now. But yeah, considering what's happening right now, I would wait. These guys, you know, we have one more lap. We have more DRS farming. The ERS game is not similar at all. Avesta has 3 times as much as the ERS as Lewis, so he's got some battery.
Oh
God!
Tyler has just taken the fastest lap off Luke. And that takes a point off Luke. Because remember, FVR rules, fastest lap is for any finishing position. You can take it in any position on the grid. Oh, that's gonna be a bit of a sting for Luke, as Tyler has just taken a point off him. Unless Luke is building, he could well go for it again on the final lap, but he's got
his tires are
hurt tires,
I'm not sure if he can,
and I think he's going to try take whatever he can. But we're heading into the Vale chicane for the final time. There's actually a Mercedes gone off. That's Kyle Albert, who's gone off through turn number 1 out of the pit lane. We're on to the final lap of the British Grand Prix. Lewis once had a potential British Grand Prix win chance taken away from him on the final lap. He was charging down Tyler Davison, couldn't take it on that day. Can he try win it here on the final lap here in Season 10? Lewis has never won his home Grand Prix. He's won 3 titles. He could win his home Grand Prix to equal the most amount of career victories ever in Formula Virtual Racing, but he's got a lot of work to do. It's a 3-time champion against a potential 3-time British Grand Prix winner. Oh, Matthew Stotts has gone off on the final lap. He's got a puncture on the last lap of the Grand Prix. Wonfi Anderson will return to the podium. The mediums could not last, but that also could be horrible if your name is Jonathan Jurgensmeyer. Here comes Gobadi, looking for this one on Lewis McWilliam through Cop's corner for the final time. Lewis is regenerating energy. The red light is flashing. That means he's less than 10%. Oh, look at this. It's Kyle Albert. He's going to try give Lewis McWilliam his toe down towards the final corner of the race. He's messed it up. He's behind the queue. Here comes Gobadi going into Stowe corner for the final time. Is the hanger straight long enough? It's 700 meters, but is it going to be enough for Gobadi? McWilliam defends to the inside. Gobadi looking for this one into the Vale chicane. It's going to be a late dive from the Ukrainian to the outside. Does Lewis defend enough? He goes one way, goes another way. The Scotsman holds on. McWilliam has tied the record. He's won his home Grand Prix in Silverstone. The championship will go on to next week in Saudi Arabia. Lewis has produced the goods when he needed to most. Wolfie Anderson comes home for a second career podium in 3rd. Excellent job from him. Rick Debray will pick up 4th, or will he actually think he'll get 5th because of the penalty? Yet Jurgensmeyer will get 4th. Cam Dolger picks up the pieces for McLaren in 6th. That's a big points haul in the Constructors' Championship as well. Here comes Borbune across the line in 7th. Panguru in 8th. Luke Davies, it was his crowning day here in the United Kingdom. He had everybody and even the Royals maybe hoping that that crown would be placed on his head for the first time, but he's going to have to wait and try do it in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Matthew Stotts comes home in 10th, Davis at 11th, Enrique Perez will come home in 12th. We've just finished an FVR race with 1 DNF. That has to be a record.
It has to be, and also, let's not forget, it could have been 2, but my man Matthew finished on 3 tires. He went on and finished the whole lap on 3 tires. That is good.
Oh, he did. Yeah, he did a Hamilton. And more impressive than Hamilton because he went off at turn 4.
It wasn't for a spot as well in the points. Tyler.
Oh, he's got points! He's got points!
He's points on 3 tires. D-Dog, get your hopes out of the window, man. That is insane.
Well, Tyler did get a point as well. He got the fastest lap.
No, he didn't. It was stolen.
Oh, what? Who took it?
It was stolen. I don't know who took it, but I saw multiple guys go into in the pits in the last lap. But obviously, the action was way ahead of that. It was in the front, so we didn't really watch it. But in the back, there were multiple people trying for the fastest lap, and it has been stolen.
Well, it is a Britishman, a Ukrainian, and a Swede on the podium. That's the first time that's probably ever happened in motorsport. I was going to say FVR motorsport.
FVR's not that big
Lewis,
yet, right?
No, we're not that big yet. We are not on a world scale. But can I just say, all of you who have watched the stream this evening, a big thanks. Our average view duration is well over 20 minutes, which is obscene for league racing. So thank you so much for your support. But here's your full race results then. It is Lewis McWilliam who takes the win with a race time of 41 minutes and 7 seconds. Avesta Gobadi in second. Then it's Wongfi Anderson, Jonathan Jurgensmeyer, Rick Debray, Colin Dulger, Borbune, Yathan Panguru, Luke Davies. 3-man wonder, Matthew Stott. It was Spin and P10, not Spin and Win unfortunately today. Then it was Tyler Davison in 11th, and then it was Enrique Perez Timdenhar. It was the AlphaTauri of Morris Stumer who took a point, so it's a successful day for AlphaTauri. Someone did steal it from Tyler, and it was Kyle Abbott, Adrian Tishy, and Nils Hartl. Unfortunately, folks, we're not going to have any post-race interviews here this evening, ladies and gentlemen. But Kyle, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you very much for joining me. We absolutely loved having you here in the commentary booth.
Oh man, I loved it here too. I enjoyed it so much. People telling me to do the tuck shake, Callum setting me up for failure, and I succeeded like a real man. I hope to be back shortly.
He brought it through like a champ.
I do.
But I do have one more thing to do. Leroy and Lewis asked me to try read the name of their new league on stream, which you can check out. It's on Instagram. The new league that is formed, it is EMPOSRLWC, and I've nailed it like an absolute trooper.
10 seasons of experience.
I've commentated like 4 times a week. You'd expect me to get it nailed, but we're going to try the full name then. It is El Matador Pro Online Switch Racing League World Competition.
Woo.
Nailed it. Done in one.
Flawlessly, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, the championship goes on to Saudi Arabia. It was not Luke's day today here in Silverstone, and Lewis McWilliam took an absolute brilliant win. But thank you very much for tuning in. Make sure to join us next time in Saudi Arabia, where we have the penultimate round of the championship, round number 11. Kyle, and you actually,
I do have one more.
Who's your driver of the day?
Oh, my driver of the day? Of course, it was usually Brendan's task to do that. Oh, that is fun to watch.
No, he's never done it before, so I'm just letting you do it.
The safety driver. That was the safety award, right? The safety.
It was you know what? We haven't done it in ages. Kyle, who wins the Spider GT Safety Award?
Womfy. Definitely, man. My man just crossed the line from the back of the grid multiple times, 26 times cleanly, and managed to put it in a high position.
That's Ferrari's second week of doing P17 to P3 in a row.
See? I'm saying, man, when I joined, the fun's always there.
Luke, just Brendan, thank you very much for informing us, says Luke needs a P5 and the fastest lap to seal the championship next week. We've got a corker in Saudi Arabia for you, ladies and gentlemen, but that is actually all this time from us here in Silverstone. We're going to leave you with a word from our sponsor, Simulus Clothing. I'm currently wearing the t-shirt. It's super comfortable. Sizing is great. Quality is good. Pricing as well. Make sure to check it out, and make sure to check out all our social channels for the latest updates on Formula Virtual Racing. From myself and Kyle Davis alongside me, thank you very much for watching. Stay safe, stay well, and we shall see you next time.
See ya.
Bye-bye. This program is brought to you by Simulus Clothing, official title sponsors of Formula Virtual Racing. But wait, there's more. Check out the official Formula Virtual Racing merchandise line out now exclusively to Simulus Clothing. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the program.